and welcome to Relationship Soup. I'm your host, Lisa Hughes. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. How are y'all doing today? How was y'all weekend? Was y'all weekend good? How's your week going? Are y'all having a good week? Is y'all year still good? Is y'all 2026 still good? Well, I hope it is. Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. Y'all know that I really appreciate y'all. Whenever y'all pull up, y'all know I appreciate you. If you are new here, make sure that you put your comment in the chat and I will bring it up like I do every episode, right? But anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for joining me. I never take it for granted. Every single person that pulls up tonight, whether you are watching me on the replay on YouTube or Facebook, or you watching me live, I see you, I love you, and I appreciate you, right? Now, let me get this housekeeping out of the way before I bring your comments on. You already know what I'm going to do. But for my listeners that have been with me for a little bit, right? Let me go ahead and do my housekeeping tonight, all right? Now, you should be liking, subscribing across all platforms. On YouTube, it's Relationship Soup, period. You got to put the period in there, right? If you're watching on your mobile phone, I got to point up, right? But anyway, Relationship Soup, period, on YouTube. You should be subscribed. If you're not subscribing, you tripping. If you want to join the forum, it's RelationshipSoupGroup, right? That forum, I'm telling y'all, we still strong, y'all. But anyway, make sure that you join the forum at RelationshipSoupGroup. If you want to follow me, it's RelationshipSoupLLC, right? Now, you already know what I'm going to bring up now. Hello, me. This is my 100-page picture affirmation book for children, right? This book teaches the youth to speak positive, to have a positive outlook on self, which that's what we're going to get into tonight, right? We're going to get into a little bit of that tonight. But anyway, so if you want your copy of Hello Me, DM me. Or you can get this on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, all over, right? Just DM me. If you want a signed copy, I got you. All right, cool. So I got that. And it's available in hardback, right? Or softback, right? Remember the price is right, girls. I got fancy on you. But anyway, so y'all, thank y'all so much for joining me. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all comments are cute. All right, so I'm going to bring those on. Oh, and you know what? Let me go ahead and bring on my little sponsor right quick. Okay, now don't roast me, y'all. Right. This is Castell popcorn. This is the white chocolate strawberry flavor, y'all. Oh my goodness. Now look, now y'all see the bag. Now, one of the owners of Castell was actually on one of my podcasts, right? And so this is their popcorn. And when I tell you it's delicious, look, y'all, it's still some in there a little bit, but this tastes like, okay, do y'all remember Captain Crunch? This tastes like Captain Crunch, y'all. Like this particular flavor. This is the white chocolate cherry, right? And it's flavored with Castell. So definitely hit them up. You can get this at www.freshpopd.shop. Y'all got to get this popcorn. It is so good, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Yeah, I tried to save it. And Simba, I know you watching. I tried to save the popcorn, but I couldn't. It was so good, y'all. Look, it's good. Y'all got to get it. All right. So anyway, y'all, let me go ahead and bring on some of your comments. Y'all, thank y'all so much for joining me. I really appreciate you. Oh, thank you so much for joining me, Lindsay Watson. I appreciate you. I am so good. I am wonderful. I cannot complain. Hey, cousin Desiree, I really appreciate you for joining me on tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. Yes, happy Tuesday, Tonality. I really appreciate you. Not Mickey Mouse. What's going on, Mickey Mouse? Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you. You know what? Famous? I don't know. Famous in my own right, I guess, right? It's not on Facebook. Really? I don't know what's going on with Facebook, y'all. Facebook is always doing something. I don't even know why it is doing that. You back in India? Oh, good, Lindsay. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Facebook. It should be on Facebook, but they don't be talking to each other. So I guess that's just what it is. But anyway, the show must go on. So if you are trying to log in via Facebook, I don't know. It's actually showing that it is live on Facebook for me, so ain't no telling. But anyway, y'all, I just want to go ahead and get into tonight's show. This show is going to be pretty short and sweet tonight, right? And what I really want to do is just get into 4 major areas of your life. For this episode, this one is called So We Shift, okay? So tonight we are shifting, Okay. Well, tonight we shift. And basically, like I said, I'm going to be getting into the 4 areas of your life: love, money, health, and purpose, right? So we're going to do it from the lens of one of the most powerful teachers. This teacher is one of my favorites, and her name is Florence Scovel Shinn. So during the last show, I mentioned her book. It's The Game of Life and How to Play It, right? And so I want to kind of go over some of her principles. And let me go ahead and give y'all this disclaimer, y'all. Look, you believe what you want. If this resonates with you, keep it. If not, that's okay. I totally understand. But I would consider this episode tonight to be kind of a service without the pews, if you will, right? So anyway, so let me go ahead and get back to Flo right quick. We're going to call her Flo, right? Because I feel like I'm just on that level to call her Flo. But anyway, well, Florence Flo, she says something that really resonates with me. And I've read this book more than once. And so basically, she talked about how your word is your wand. You know, what you speak over your life, you declare as truth. It becomes your reality. So tonight, let's just plant a couple more seeds about speaking life over yourself, right? So again, like I said, if this does not resonate with you, that's okay, right? It doesn't have to. And I'm not trying to change anybody's belief system. Believe what you want to believe, but this resonates with me. And I just wanted to share it with you because this is one of the journeys that I've been on as well. So let's start with love. Now, listen, y'all, I'm not just talking about love in relationships. You already know that. For my listeners that have been with me for a while, I'm speaking on love as far as how you show up for yourself, the way you show up in your relationships, your friendships, your family, your community, right? Right. Well, relationships is part of it. But how do you show up for yourself? Now, one thing that Florence said that I thought was really profound, and it really had me thinking, right? When I read her book a few years ago, she says that no man is your enemy, no man is your friend, every man is your teacher. Now sit with that for a minute. No man is your enemy, no man is your friend, every man is your teacher, right? So think about the last person that got under your skin. Now somebody got under your skin, whether it was a coworker, family member, your boo, whoever, friend, somebody got under your skin. Now, Florence is telling us that that person isn't actually your problem. They're your mirror. They're showing you something that you may need to see, right? And a lot of us, and especially some men, we're taught to keep it moving. Don't talk about it. Don't feel through it. Don't push through it. But I want to challenge you tonight because unhealed places block everything, right? And hopefully it is your goal to become more of a, more aligned and to be able to flow better, right? So that you can welcome some of your blessings and things, right? So again, going back to what I was saying, this block, it blocks relationships you want, it blocks the peace that you deserve. So here's your shift. You stop chasing love when you become it. When you walk into a room already whole, already secure in who you are, that energy is absolutely magnetic, right? And you can't fake that. It's going to be very real. But you also can't shortcut your way to it either. It takes you actually doing the work, right? And I know that y'all probably heard that throughout different podcasts, throughout social media, because there's always something on social media, well, in my feed anyway, about doing the work. And so, me personally, I've learned just through various adversities that have happened in my life, I had to do the work, and I'm still doing the work, still a work in progress. Nothing perfect. I'm not perfect, right? So what I want you to do, I'm going to go ahead and put this affirmation in the chat. It's going to be kind of long. And for my people on Facebook, I'm so sorry. I don't know why it's not showing on Facebook tonight, but if you can just come on over to YouTube, feel free to do that. All right. So this is the affirmation I want you to say out loud, right? All right, so this is for love, okay? Divine love now floods my heart and radiates from me. I attract harmonious, loving relationships into my life. I'm worthy of deep love. I'm open to real connection. And what's mine by divine right cannot be withheld from me. So hopefully that resonates with you, right? Just sit with that for a second. All right. All right, cool. So, and the trick that I have found with affirmations is sometimes you have to change them around where it fits you, whether it's your voice, your lingo, or whatever. That actually helps a lot. I know me personally, it helps me. Sometimes when I come across affirmations, I'm like, yo, I need to change it where it fits me. So anyway, when you say this, it shouldn't be like a wish. Don't come from a place of lack with it. It shouldn't be a wish, more of a declaration. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and move into money and abundance. All right. So let's talk about money, right? Now, let's be truthful. Now, some of us don't have a really good relationship with money. We just don't. And sometimes that can come from programming. Some of us have probably been taught, oh, money is bad, wealth is bad, being wealthy is bad, right? But those are not necessarily truths, right? I mean, we can get into intention and all that, and we'll do that on another show because I'm going to keep it short and sweet. But those are programs. And one thing that I really appreciated about Flo is that she taught us that abundance is actually a spiritual principle, right? That there's no shortage. So there's no shortage in the divine, in God, only in our thinking. And so one of the quotes that I really appreciated in her book, and I wrote it down, God is my unfailing supply, and large sums of money come to me quickly under grace in perfect ways. Now, I know somebody probably sitting there right now, give me the side eye. I feel it. But look, and I'm not really just trying to throw anything at you, because the truth of the matter is we got bills to pay. Some of us got debt. Some of us are wondering where the heck the next check is going to come from, or whatever. You're in a situation. And I'm not speaking against real problems, because real problems do exist. What I'm here to tell you is, or here to plant the seed of, is your mindset is either opening the door or closing it. So fear contracts where faith expands. So, it's just a way of mindset, just a shift in your thinking with it. So just think about that. All right. So my advice is stop thinking negatively about money. Stop saying I can't afford it, and start saying it's not my priority right now. Stop saying money is tight, and start declaring that abundance is your birthright. Okay. Now, I know it sounds small, but the shift in your spirit is massive. And, we definitely want to aim for spiritual growth in any way possible, right? So sometimes it's the little small things that make the biggest difference. So one thing that Florence believed is that supply, it actually flows through when you're open. So be somebody that's ready to receive. And I'm telling you, when I read that, it hit me because, for some of my life, I wasn't able to receive. I was actually coming from a place of lack, or, there were various blocks. But start training your mindset where you can receive things, right? So let me go ahead and put this affirmation in here as well. And like I said, you may want to change it for what works for you. All right, and forgive me because this may actually come up into two different chat bubbles. All right, so this affirmation: I'm a magnet for prosperity and opportunity. Money flows to me freely and consistently. I manage abundance with wisdom, integrity, and purpose. I'm financially free, and my blessings overflow to others. All right. What do I say with that? I like that. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into health and wellness, because health is huge, right? Let's talk about body, because the truth is, some of us, and especially some men, are definitely carrying enormous amounts of stress and an enormous amount of stress, whether it's generational stress, whether it's financial stress, the weight of always having to be strong for everybody else. I mean, that's a for real stress, right? And it's showing up in our bodies, And one thing that I can appreciate about Florence is she taught us that our body responds to our words. It responds to how we think, and it really does. So stress, worry, anger, they don't just live in your mind, they live in your cells, right? And I don't know about you, but just even when I remember when I got one of my first massages ever, I was a youngin' back then, right? But I remember when the massage therapist, they were telling me, look, when I'm finished with your massage, sometimes people have different emotions. Some people cry, or, some people laugh or whatever, right? And I actually did experience an emotion, right? Because I had all of that and it was in my muscles. So I'm just saying, it's just something to think about. One thing I want to ask you all is, when is the last time that you actually rested? When you actually slept and rested your mind, right? When is that last time that you've done that, right? When is the last time you saw a doctor without somebody making you go? And when is the last time you moved your body because you're just doing it because you love yourself, not because you're punishing yourself for something, or I didn't get in my little set last week, but you're just doing it for the love of self. One thing you should look at is your health is not a luxury. It's the foundation of everything that we've talked about so far tonight. You cannot build wealth. You can't move if your body's not right, period. You just can't. You can't walk in your purpose if your body isn't right. If your body is breaking down from neglect, how are you going to move? How are you going to walk in purpose? So, I would just recommend drinking more water, getting outside, move, talk to somebody, a therapist, a physical trainer, whoever, a counselor, a trusted friend, because not only is physical health important, mental health is important too. So, that's just something that you need to think about, or you should consider thinking about. I ain't telling y'all what to do. You just consider it. So let me go ahead and put this affirmation out there for you. I see your comment, Melody, and I will bring that up shortly. All right, so I know there's a small delay. So, all right, this next affirmation I have is, my body is a sacred instrument and I honor it daily. Divine life and energy flow through every cell of my being. I am restored, renewed, and operating at my highest level. My mind is clear, my body is strong, and my spirit is at peace. Right? All right, so let me see here. Let me see. So tonality says, you shall have what you say. Life and death in the area of your life is in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21. Absolutely, right? So, hey, it's in the book, right? And there's different, there's different information out here that also speaks on this too, whether it's in a biblical sense or whatever. I mean, it's out there. And to me, they all converge. They all kind of say the same thing and come together, right? All right. So the last area that I want to talk about tonight, and I say this one for last on purpose, right? Because everything flows from this, right? Your purpose. And I talked about this last week, right? So it's going to feel like a little deja vu. But Florence, she talked about what's called the divine plan, right? And this is basically the idea that there is a perfect place for you in this world. There's a perfect place for you, not just a job, not just a career, an actual calling, and something that was designed basically before you even got here and before you even knew that you were capable of it. Now, some of you are on jobs that pay bills, but drain your soul. Been there. Absolutely been there. Money was good. Bills was paid. And I'm not saying don't pay your bills. And I'm not saying that, right? I'm just saying that some of us have been in position or on jobs that they drain the hell out of you, but they pay your bills. And some of you have a dream, and we kind of talked about this last week. This is when this deja vu piece kind of comes in. Some of you have a dream that you've been carrying, but you haven't moved forward with it for whatever reason. Maybe it was the reasons we talked about last week. Maybe it's fear. But whatever it is, there's a way to overcome that. Now, and then there's some of you who actually did take that leap, but it's not working out like you feel like it should. And you might be questioning, did I make the right choice? And you know what? I believe that you probably did make the right choice. And one thing that is good to keep at the forefront is hard seasons refine you. They don't define you. They refine you, right? So one thing that I would recommend, okay, is stop asking, can I do this? And start asking, what is mine to do? Right? Because that small shift moves you from a place of doubt into a place of divine alignment. So you're no longer striving, you're receiving. See, there's that receiving again, right? So I don't know, just a thought. You know what I mean? I see that I have another comment. Hey, Rashad, thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate you. This is exactly where I am with it consciously. Definitely time to put it into motion. Absolutely. Put it into motion. Because just me personally, because I will say that I am walking in purpose and on purpose, right? That's just kind of my generic little term. And I definitely have those moments, but I always come back to my center like, okay. And then, when I get to the place in my center and actually able to receive, doors open, right? And so anyway, that's just something that I wanted to share there, right? So I would say use your gifts, use them fully, use them boldly. And the world, it needs you. It needs your authentic self, right? It needs the purpose-driven you. Because like I said last week, it's somebody that needs what you got, needs a talent that you have, right? So let me go ahead and put this affirmation out here. All righty. Okay, so this affirmation here says, I'm exactly where I am supposed to be right now. My gifts, my skills, and my story are uniquely mine. I walk boldly into the divine plan designed for my life. I'm unstoppable because I'm aligned with my purpose, right? And again, you may need to change these, right? And that's okay. If you change them, do whatever it is you need to do, right? All right, so let's see here. So tonality says, mind, body, and spirit is the human trifecta. When one of those things are out of alignment, it will affect the other. Absolutely, it will. Absolutely, it will. That's just something to think about, and get to your center and figure out how to, get more in alignment, right? All right, so let's see here. What else? What else? Is there anything else? I think I'm good tonight. All right, so tonight, y'all, I know that we covered a lot of ground. We talked about love, money, health, purpose, the 4 pillars. And even if one thing landed for you tonight, good, act on it. And if it didn't, that's okay too. Don't just feel inspired to move, just move, right? Hopefully those affirmations are something that, are useful to you. One practice I do, write them down, journal about them, say them, put them on a mirror, whatever it is that you have to do. Put them somewhere where you can see in the morning, or maybe even before you go to bed at night. You have to figure out what your process is that's going to work for you, because what works for one person may not work for another. So you just have to figure that out. And so one thing that Florence believed that really resonates for me is that the universe is rigged in your favor when you are in alignment. And I truly believe that. And I am living that in my own right. And just know, like I said last week, you are where you were supposed to be. You're not broken. You're not behind. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. You're not too far gone. You are exactly where you need to be to step into everything that belongs to you. Right? So let's see here. Is there anything else? All right, but anyway, y'all, I appreciate y'all spending this time with me tonight. I know it was kind of short and sweet. I know y'all got things to do, but I just wanted to sprinkle, y'all with a little knowledge and plant a couple seeds tonight. And if you feel moved, please share this episode with somebody who needs it. You never know who's sitting and might need, hey, I need these affirmations. So share this episode, y'all. And let's see here. I just want to thank y'all all for listening, for pulling up. Shout out to everybody that listens to me weekly and that supports Relationship Soup. I appreciate everything that y'all do behind the scenes, out loud. I really appreciate you. So let me go ahead and do this housekeeping before I get out of here tonight. All right. So you should be liking, subscribing across all platforms. On YouTube, it's Relationship Soup, period. You got to put the period or you're going to be somebody else. If you want to join the forum, it's RelationshipSoupGroup. If you want to follow me, it's RelationshipSoupLLC, right? And you already know. Hello, me. Again, if you want a copy, whether you want the paperback or you want the hard copy, these are really popular. Y'all really like the hard copies. DM me, hit it up on Amazon, various bookstore platforms. Hello Me is there. Bless a baby with the gift of positive words, of being able to have a positive outlook on self. Plant these seeds early, right? Because it's going to help them in the long run to be able to be positive, to have a different mindset, a renewing of their mindset even before they're programmed, right? So that's just something to think about. All right, I see your comments. Let me bring this last one on. Thank you so much, Gregory. I appreciate you, and thank you so much for joining me. All right, so is there anything else? Anything? Y'all good? Nothing? All right, I guess I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I guess I'm going to be eating a little early tonight. But like I said, I know that this was a short episode, y'all. But anyway, so again, DM me if you want a signed copy. Would love to get this to you. And in the meantime, until we meet again, keep speaking life, keep walking in faith. And just remember, it starts with you. So until we meet next time, peace.